I don't know how else to stress this, but I know my way around the controller, okay? I know Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I know the combos. I know Dragon Dash Cancel.
Nobody's stronger than me.
I know what you can do on the game, okay? I was coming in fully prepared to play Sparking Zero and play it just like how I played BT3. And by the way, full disclaimer, if you want to be able to compete at a high level on Sparking Zero, there are a few people that you must follow. True Dragon Ball legends who have been in the game for 15 plus years, who know the ins and outs of the Budokai Tenkaichi series and the Raging Blast series, who are still
to this day
playing at a high level. These are guys you don't want to run into online, people. You want to follow them and learn from them. I'm talking guys like Treants, PlayStation 360, Grandmaster Warhawk, Mackie20Z, Starlia. You got to check these people out. You got to go to their YouTube channels. You got to subscribe, watch their videos. These guys are going to be coming in super hard on Sparking Zero, and you don't want to miss what they're putting out. Trust me. Okay, back to Sparking Zero. It was almost as if I was playing a new game. Huh? Well, yeah, of course, it is a brand new game, but I somehow had this expectation of Sparking Zero just being a graphically enhanced version of BT3, and that just couldn't be further from the truth. The game really does play like its own thing. Now, that's not to say if you're a BT3 player, you can't come over and have an easier time adjusting to the game. But what I am saying is the game does feel fundamentally different. I went to this expo having played BT3 for maybe an hour prior to showing up, and I gotta tell you, I just almost got my ass beat by the CPU because I was like, what? This just doesn't make any sense. I should be able to do the same things I do on BT3 over here, but it's not exactly the same. Now, if you do play BT3, like when I got my second match in, I was able to adjust a little bit more and become more familiar with the way the game works. Now, the thing about this game for me that's throwing me off, and this isn't to say that the game is bad, but what threw me off was the lack of impact and the fact that the camera is a little jarring to adjust to. When I play BT3, I feel like I'm really locked in with the opponent. When I'm playing Sparking Zero, it's a little all over the place, but that's not to say that this won't be fixed in the final version. I'm not exactly sure which build this one is, but I'm pretty sure it's the same build that's been floating around since Anime Expo. Now, another thing to note is when I was playing this game, similarly to the people who were playing this in Anime Expo, we were getting some delay issues, and I think it was some performance issues from the PlayStation 5. No fault of anybody's. We're in the middle of a heat wave here in California. We're bouncing around between 95 to 105 degrees. We're trying to host a very graphically demanding game in the middle of a heat wave. Of course, there's going to be some performance issues. So less than optimal conditions. So you can't really get an accurate impression. But from the things I did notice, one, I believe it is easier to chain combos together. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, that's for you to decide. For me, I feel like it doesn't change a thing. I feel like this game shouldn't be so intense or demanding. I feel like everyone, from whatever your background is, whether you're just trying to hop on and play or whether you're trying to go pro, the game should be accessible. So pretty cool. You don't have to be so strict and so tight to chain combos together. Feels like you can just kind of free flow and do your thing. Same thing with vanishing. I believe the window has been opened a little bit, so you get a little bit more room. Also, I'm assuming that this is the same for the Z counter. I don't believe that's going to be a one frame move anymore to pull off. So I think they probably made that easier. Unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to attempt one in my playthrough. I only got to play 2 games. But my impressions, so far so good. I'm liking what I'm playing. I like the game. Obvious is the graphics are amazing. It's just the presentation in the game is incredible. It looks great. It looks amazing. And there is way more fluidity in this. So even though I said a little earlier that the camera may be jarring to look at, it's because it's trying to compensate for just how fluid and how fast-paced the game is. So of course the camera is going to be a little funky. That's something they can fix. I'm not really worried about that. But what I love the most is just how fast and fluid that both the short dash and the burst dash are. Just dashing around and maneuvering around the opponent feels so buttery smooth. It's like you're floating in a cloud. And I can only imagine just at a high level watching gameplay, man, it's gonna look crazy because it's just gonna be people dashing all over the place trying to outmaneuver one another. And this chess match of people trying to get in and get out, it's gonna look amazing. It's gonna look beautiful. It's gonna look like the show. It's gonna look like the show. And I think that's really what they're trying to capture, is the show being put into the game better than before. So it's like you're gonna actually be playing as Goku and actually be playing as Vegeta. And I think they're doing an amazing job of doing that. Feels very fast, very fluid. Now, there are some things I didn't like other than the camera. And it's one thing in particular, actually. Only one thing. I don't know if they'll be able to fix this or not. I have no idea. But I know some people have complained about it when they've seen footage and trailers and gameplay videos, and playing it, I did kind of feel it. It's not a deal breaker, but it doesn't feel like the punches are landing as hard as they should. And it's kind of hard to keep track of what you're doing because unlike in BT3, it doesn't really feel like you're connecting with the opponent. So kind of like what I said, like with the movement, you're floating on the cloud. Maybe you're kind of a little too cloudy and too floaty when you're fighting. So when you're actually comboing somebody, it's almost like you're just hitting air, if that makes any sense. It doesn't really feel like you're connecting and landing or even doing damage. So yeah, I would like that satisfactory impact punch, but hey, if they don't include that, if that's not a part of something that they're trying to implement or fix, it may not even be something that needs to be fixed. It's not a deal breaker. I still had a blast, like I said, playing the game. I think the game is going to be incredible. That's just one thing I noticed. And again, keep in mind, I only got to play 2 games. So definitely looking forward to getting my hands on this game, whether they release a demo or beta at some point. They probably won't. I don't know. Maybe. I hope. Fingers are still crossed. But I'm definitely looking forward to the full release of this game. We're coming down to 2 months now. Literally 60 days from today, we're going to have our hands on the full game and the full version. So I couldn't be more excited. Again, you got to go follow those Dragon Ball champs I mentioned. PlayStation 360, Treants, Grandmaster Warhawk, Mackie20Z, Starlia. You guys got to go check them out. We're going to be doing a lot of crazy stuff when this game drops in 60 days. Tournaments and everything, videos, tutorials, guides, anything you can imagine. So things are going to get pretty lit, guys. Stay tuned. If you like this video, please give a like and comment and subscribe. And of course, I'm going to be following Sparking Zero. Every little bit of detail that comes out for this game, you're going to find it right here on this channel, and we're going to talk about it. And I want to engage with you guys in the comments, so please leave a comment. All right, guys, see you.